welcome back. So today's video is going to be all about my concealer brushes and my tools. So these are going to be like my favorite brushes and my favorite tools that I like to use when I'm applying concealers, because I have quite a few concealers that I use, and for every concealer I prefer to use a different brush or a different tool. Okay, so I'll be right back after the intro and we can get started. Okay, good. Alright ladies, so I'm going to start with my most favorite. Well, depends on like the kind of concealer I'm using, but the concealer brush I always reach for would be number one. This will have to be the one by Sedona Lace. This one right here. Oh, that's the worst. Right here. So it's slightly tapered. This one is the EB 13. It's amazing. By the time you're watching this video, there should be a giveaway, an ongoing giveaway with Sedona Lace for you to win this brush. Okay, so make sure that you participate if you want it. So this brush, I really like this brush, and I like to use it when I am working with my Select Cover Concealer by MAC. Okay, because this one is very liquid and countenance, I guess. So I like to use it for my brows. Like I use it here to kind of blend the concealer out, really buff it into my skin, and I also use it to like blend at the top. Okay, and I really love this one. I started calling this one the Halo Buster. You know how sometimes when you do your brows, you can have a halo effect? Okay, so this right here by Sedona Lace is the Halo Buster, okay? Because it does an amazing job at blending. So I would love for you guys to give this brush a try and let me know how you like it. But I think you'll like it. The hairs on this is synthetic, okay? And I think like sometimes from what I'm starting to learn about synthetic versus like real like goat hair or whatever hair, like hair as opposed to synthetic, okay, when it's real, when it's plastic, is that I think synthetic hairs, they take less product, okay, and when you're working with anything that's like creamy or something, even like paint pots, I think synthetic brushes are a whole lot better I'm manipulating the product than like if you were to use real hair brush. That's what I'm starting to find out. But this one is amazing. It just does such an amazing job of buffing it. Like I just love this one. Love it. And also say if you're applying also a paint pot all over your lid, all the way down to your brow bone, and you need to really buff that in there and kind of blend the whole paint pot, because sometimes like paint pots, when you apply them on your lids, especially the ones by Makeup Forever, have a tendency to do that. You can get little bits and pieces of the paint pot. So this right here will make sure that when you apply your paint pot, when you buff it in, that everything is even. So I really like this. If you watch a couple of my makeup tutorials, like you probably should have seen me use this one, not just for concealer but also for a paint pot. Okay, so this one by Sedona Lace will be my number one. Okay, number two, I will have to say a sponge, okay, like makeup sponges. This one is great. I used this one today. Well, I shouldn't say today, but whenever you get to see the makeup look for this one, I'm using this for my concealer, okay? For both, I'm using it for, I used it for both the Prolonged Wear Concealer and the Cover Cream by Dermablend, which is a whole lot thicker, okay? So it works great. This one has a pointy top, so it's really easy to reach like right here, like this, like that, okay? And also, if you hold it straight and like just move across, no, not like that, but if you hold it straight and then move across like this, okay? Dabbing is this. That's when you're trying to get like the hard places, okay, like the crevices of your face, okay? That's dabbing. But I'm talking about press, swipe, okay? Like that, you can get a really sharp edge with the pointy top right here. You see that? Okay. So I like this one. And then when you're working with the Cover Cream by Dermablend or a very thick concealer, some of you guys use the one by Makeup Forever, which is very thick. I've yet to try this one out, that one out, but I will. When you're working with thick concealers, you don't want to do this. because then you'll be leaving gaps on your face, okay? Because you have a print, a print, a print, a print. With liquid, when you're working with liquid concealer, you can kind of get away with, like, the Prolong Wear is pretty much liquid. Select Sheer Cover, if you wanted to use it here also, is very liquid, so it's pretty easy to do that. But when you're working with something that's like pasty concealers, you don't want to do this. You want to do like that. Bam, 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 okay? So, and this is what's so great about this. It's very flexible. Well, it's versatile, I should say. Actually, that's the proper word. It's very versatile. Okay, that is, you can use it like this, okay, just to apply, and then you can also press to buff the product in and not to leave any gaps, and make sure that your concealer is flawlessly applied. I talk a whole lot just about one sponge. Like, are you serious right now? Well, that's what I do. You should see me during the day when I go to the mall. But I end up buying everything I touch anyway, so it's okay. The other one I have, which is like one of my favorites, is this sponge right here. I bought this one at Sephora. For some reason, they're not selling it anymore at the store. They're selling these, but whatever. This one is really good. MAC also has one. You can also find some at Sally's. So this one, the same concept, is very flexible. Also, the shape is great. It's not as pointy as the other one, but you can make, it's not as pointy as this one, but you can definitely make it pointy. And this one is for your liquid concealers. If you make it wet, if you break down hard concealers like the one by Dermablend, and by breaking down, I mean, you take some and then you play with them on the back of your hand, so you, like, the heat in your fingers can kind of warm it up and then kind of break the concealer, okay? Then it's like, then it can work with that as well. So you just want to just like, when you're working with the Prolong Wear, it's the same principle as the other one, okay? But to get it to be a little bit more pointy, here is the sponge, right? Put your index finger right here and then pinch like that, okay? So hold it between your thumb and your middle finger, okay? Like this, all right? And to make it pointy, just lay or rest your index finger right there, and then like this. Then you have a little bit more control in your making this part a little bit more pointy. So you do that, okay? And when you're working with this one, after you break it down a bit, same thing, press, you press. And this one is not going to give you gaps because it's not shaped. This one, because the way it's shaped, it's going to leave you prints, okay? But this one is not, because there's more, as you lay it down, you have more of a surface area. So you go like this, okay? And also, you can also flip it around if you need more coverage like that, or if you need more of a surface to work with. And then you go like this, okay? And then you bring it back here, and you go press, swipe, so you can do it like a harsh line if you need to have a harsh line. Makes sense? So sponges are great. I really recommend sponges for concealers, applying concealers. And also, when you use the sponges, they get dirty. It doesn't mean like it's bad. Just wash it, but make sure they dry completely. They have to be like super dry, not half wet. They have to be completely dry. So find, if you have a fan at your house or a space heater or something, but make sure that they're super dry before you put it back in your face. So that's just a bacteria nest right there. Okay, so what would that be, like 3, I guess? Okay, so then I have these brushes right here, which are the concealer brushes by Sephora. This, I think, yeah, I think they're both professional. Yeah, it's the same one, just a different design. So if you had, this is like the old school design, okay, this is the new school design, and then the head is the same. The hairs are just a bit different color. This is kind of bleach and dark right here. This is completely dark. And if I place the funnels right here, the black one has a longer stem. The black one also has a longer funnel. But I like these also for any liquid concealers that I work with. You don't, this right here, you don't want to do hard concealers. Like this one by Dermablend, it will be a no-no. If you're working with the Studio Fix concealer, as long as you know what you're doing. But it's really for liquid concealers, and just, it really does a good job of just buffing it in. And you also want to get in the habit when you work with your brushes not to just be stiff with them, okay? Think of your brushes as a steering wheel, like Marlene. Sorry, I'm serious. Think of your brushes as a steering wheel. You know how sometimes when you drive, when you're taking a ramp, you never want your hands to be locked. Like, that's dangerous, okay? So as you take the ramp, you kind of pull the steering wheel like this, and you always have to release your arms, your hands, so that way that your arms don't lock, okay? Makes sense? And it's the same thing. If you're very stiff, okay, like if your hand is very stiff when you're applying. Oop, I put the timer on. Somebody's gonna be like, Marley, you knew very well you were gonna go over 10 minutes. I knew I was gonna go over 10 minutes, but it kind of keeps me, you know, yeah. So it'll probably be 15. That's okay. Put another 5 on this one. 5 minutes, okay. So if your hand is stiff, like when you're working with your concealer brush because you're so afraid to mess up, it's like you're locking your hands as you're holding the steering wheel and you're taking a ramp, so you're going to make a mistake, okay? Get in the habit of holding it. I don't know how you hold your pen, but hold it in such a way so that you can actually turn it. You can play with it. Does that make sense? So it's like this. Whatever you need to do with it, you go like this. You know, just play with it. And you have a stem that is long enough for you to buff hard or buff light. Okay, the closer to the funnel you are, you're buffing hard. The farther away you are from the funnel, you're buffing light. So these two brushes right here are number 57 by Sephora. Sephora brushes are amazing. 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 They're worth the money. Like, I think when you try Sephora brushes, you probably won't ever buy MAC brushes again. Okay, the last one I have is this one. So the last brush I have, number 252 by MAC is this one. Synthetic hair. This was my first concealer brush ever because I didn't understand it. I was like, they're trying to get my money. But I bought this brush to go with this one. I mean, the makeup artist, when she did my makeup, she used this brush. I was like, okay, I'll just get it. But I honestly thought they were trying to get my money. I was like, no, that's too much money. Why do I need a concealer brush? I already have a foundation brush. Like, But it's a good one. It's a good one. Right now, where I'm at with my makeup and what I do and what I know how to do, I don't really care for it. But if I need it, I will use it. But if you're like starting out, or if you have this one, use it. Learn to love it because it's one of your brushes and I'm sure you pay money for it. So, yeah, use it with this one. Okay? And that's it. You just kind of pat this like that. So it's a nice one. I'm just used to nicer things now. So that's that. No, but one thing I didn't like about this, the reason why I stopped liking it, because I felt like the hairs on it were a little stiff for me. I was like, oh, it's hurting me. But if you have it, please use it, okay? And you can also probably use like some little bit of lotion or something just to make the hairs, the bristles, like a little softer if you find that it's like stabbing you like underneath like your eye area right here. Okay, so yeah, so oh no, and then of course the last tool you have to apply your concealer will be your fingers, right? You can always put some right here, kind of melt the concealer and just dab. That always works, okay? Especially if you're late or if your stuff is dirty, it never fails. So your finger is the last thing. So that's it, ladies. I hope this was beneficial. I hope you learned something new. Otherwise, I didn't do my job. Oh. Okay, so if you have any questions, leave them down below. All the brushes, the names will be listed below. If I can't find a link, I'll try to put a link to it. But then right there, you asking for a little too much, honey. So that's it, and I'll see you guys next time. And thank you guys for watching. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And always, ladies, please get in the habit of always liking a video, because there's this one person, I think it's one person, because every time I post a video, the video can be up for like 2 seconds. There's a dislike. And I'm like, no, this person, sorry. I'm just like, no, this is somebody really specific, or maybe I'm just paranoid. But just get in the habit of always clicking the like button, okay? That would really help me out. And always leave comments or whatever, suggestions. And yeah, that's it. I will see you guys in my other video, okay? Bye. What you looking at? What? Like... Nathalie na calendrier, jour J-0. Au Colombo et coquillet.